When speaking about remains of ancient advanced civilization in Africa, let's visit a village in Ethiopia. It is called Yeha. The ancient ruins that are found over there show amazing building quality. The sides of the stones or the geopolymer blocks are digitally perfectly even and smooth. They are polished. According to mainstream sources, these lands have been always inhabited by various very simple tribal cultures. And then how come we find these buildings of very high quality in what really looks like antique Greco-Roman style? The quality of this building work in this unknown village is much higher than that of the so-called supreme emperors of Rome, whose main palaces, supposedly the center of power, they are made of mud bricks, while this structure is made of big blocks, some of them reaching 2.5 meters in length.
Also, the building style of these megalithic structures, there are a few of them in Ethiopia, is very similar to these that are in Yemen. These photos are from Yemen, just for comparison. And by the way, it's absolutely the same in the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, in Cambodia, in Turkey, in Peru. It's almost as if the same builder made them all. But this builder is not at all present in the current history of Ethiopia. Why is that?
Now look at this single stone. What was it? 20-some meters long. That is gigantic. it definitely rivals the highest quality work found in the Egyptian megaliths. And this is the actual quarry from where the mainstream historians assure us that this stone was taken. Well, it is a completely different color. It is reddish. Look at the megaliths, they are whitish and dark, like black. That's not there at all in the quarry.
Actually, the entire so-called quarry consists of small staircases cut in the rock. Not to mention the enormous obelisks in Aksum, the capital of Ethiopia. They are much bigger than the famous Egyptian obelisks, and even with our so-called advanced technology these days, we cannot rebuild them to their previous glory, not in one piece anyway, as they originally did. We had to do it in pieces. We couldn't do it all at once.
And again, not only the weight of the obelisks, but also the technology that was used in cutting them is far beyond the reach of any primitive tools, no matter how many millions of slaves were laboring for hundreds and thousands of years. These achievements are simply ignored by those who write the mainstream history. They do not mention them, pretend that they do not exist, and continue writing only about mud huts. In the past, the historians, the cartographers, they were well aware that Ethiopia belonged to this culture that now we mistakenly call Greco-Roman. Here, in an old medieval map of Ethiopia, we see a king who
Okay, let me just stop right there for a second. How y'all doing tonight? How's everybody? Alright, so this is a obelisk right here that's been knocked over. I've never seen this before. So, they're saying that the rock itself came from a place that was 1,000 miles away. And they couldn't have transported the rock. I would say that they couldn't have transported the rock without breaking it. If that rock fell over and it was a nice solid rock, I don't even think it'd break like that. Could I get anybody else's opinion on just this right here? If this was a real rock that they had just cut, would it break just by falling over like that? And maybe the type of rock it is, it might. But if it would have broken that easy just from falling over, wouldn't it have broke during transport? And furthermore, the writings and stuff would have had to been done on site, because if they would have you believe that they rolled this thing on logs and whatever, well, they would have damaged all the... It would have had scrapes and scratches all over it by the time they got it to where it was going and got it stood up. So they would have had to finish it on site. I'm just saying that I don't think a solid piece of rock cut into a... would just break like that. I mean, I could maybe understand one break, but man, that thing broke like it was made of plaster. So, what do y'all think on that? And then I'll keep moving forward. I'll wait till y'all to respond out, and I'll move forward. Yeah, it broke. That's right, Joey. It broke like concrete would break. Not like a rock, I don't think. Now, it might be it's just a different kind of rock or something, but... Still, if it broke that easy just from falling over, how did they transport it without fucking breaking it? It would have really sucked to transport something that big for 999 miles and then crack it in half. once you got it on the site and got ready to stand it up because it just was like off balance or something. And I wouldn't think that they would choose a rock that was easy to break if they had to transport it 1,000 miles. All right, let's move on.
No matter how many millions of slaves were laboring for hundreds and thousands of years. These achievements are simply ignored by those who write the mainstream history. They do not mention them, pretend that they do not exist, and continue writing only about mud huts. In the past, the historians, the cartographers, they were well aware that Ethiopia belonged to this culture that now we mistakenly call Greco-Roman. Here, in an old medieval map of Ethiopia, we see a king who to us may seem at the wrong place, but if we believe what we see in terms of ruins instead of what the penguins tell us, then everything falls into place.
Another interesting point to consider is that the megaliths of Ethiopia are made of stone that is not available locally. The nearest place where such stone can be found is Egypt. When a group of Russian researchers visited the nearby quarries where the mainstream historians tell us and assure us that the stone was taken from, they were surprised to find out that the stone over there has nothing to do with that stone that is used in the actual megalithic sites. So it's either artificially made stone, which we call geopolymer, or it has been transported over thousands and thousands of kilometers from Egypt or somewhere else, which is of course not a problem for technologically advanced civilizations that can fly heavy cargoes anywhere in the world, but it's highly problematic for primitive tribes that supposedly lived in a territory of Ethiopia. Here we go. This is another interesting medieval map. Again, we see some sort of Caucasian ruler. The megaliths in the capital of Ethiopia, Aksum, are also very, very interesting. It's a mixture of perfectly shaped megalithic blocks, hard stone, and the very primitive old stone work as well, almost as if two teams were working side by side. And that could have very well been the case. Just see. They are mixed. It's not that the primitive was made on top of the better, older foundation. And this is a pretty good example here. It seems that the survivor builders were putting their megalithic polygonal blocks. This is the same like Peru. But this is Ethiopia, but it looks like Peru. Or Turkey or Japan. Absolutely the same. Look at this. Same polygonal masonry. No gap between the stones. Huge sized blocks. So these are the survivors. And then the rest, the rough, low-quality work beside them, is the work of the simple tribal people that were building alongside them. Or at least that's one of the possible scenarios. Another possibility is that initially the full building was of high quality and it got destroyed later on, and then the tribal people tried to repair it themselves. Now, here another parallel with the megaliths of Yemen. They basically look identical to those in Ethiopia. The building style, the blocks, the size, just the same. And we're back to Exhume. The familiar megalithic underground tunnels, enormous blocks of very high-quality work. Everything is so polished, even the sides that do not show. The sides that are facing other blocks, they are also polished to perfection. That is why there is no gap. There's no mortar between the stones, and as usual, we see the survivors-style clamps as everywhere else in the world. Here, even the original metal has survived.
The connection between the culture that I call the nature people, the survivors, and the ruins in Ethiopia is not confirmed just by the style, but also by the writing found on those ruins. Now we call them European runes and Slavic runes, but apparently they were not exclusive to that region, so again the name given by the mainstream historians is not really suitable. Here we are still in Ethiopia and we see a very familiar symbol. In the previous episodes we saw it on the headwear and other symbols of the Japanese samurais, of Lord Shiva in India, on the flags of the native nations of South and North America. Of course, it is all over the flags of medieval kingdoms in Europe. They all belong to the same culture. That's why the building style is the same, and the symbols are the same everywhere. And by the way, the village where the megalithic ruins are found is called Tieja, probably for the same reason for which one of the Japanese islands was called Yesu. The famous rock-hewn churches of Lalibela, again Ethiopia. The elders still tell the story that in the past, angels of other races used to join their religious processions. And how were the churches made? That's a lot of work, by the way. The people used to work during the day, and at night the angels used to do the work. And it seems that this group of angels wasn't that independent after all, because it cut the symbols of the survivors again on the walls of the churches. According to the locals, the king, during whose reign these churches were made, used to travel in altered states of consciousness, and in those realms he was in touch with the angels under whose guidance the churches were made. The passages around them are quite deep and at places some 15 meters wide. That's a large volume of stone, very unlikely to have been cut by local tribes, especially within the very short span of a couple of years during which the churches are considered to be built. If we take the traditional story about the help of the angels, then the full story is much more believable, especially taking into account how fast they were allegedly built. And as I found out very recently, Ethiopia is very, very rich in rock-cut ruins, in absolutely the same style as we see them in Turkey, in Italy, in great concentration, and also in dozens of other countries. Their distribution covers most of Europe and Asia, and apparently now Africa. The same rock-cut rectangulars, which are typical for the early stages of rock cutting. All this is in Ethiopia only. And then the Derunkuyo style rock cut cities. These cavities here are rooms. And then we find even the last wave of rock cutting. Also in Ethiopia, these arches seem like those of Turkey, Armenia, Italy, Spain. And as in all other regions, rock-cut ruins from the earlier periods were later on converted in monasteries and churches. Here, same like in Turkey, you see only half of the room is left. That is why they had to add patches, otherwise the rooms would be useless. The monks would style rock-cut cities. These cavities here are rooms. These cavities here are rooms.
Okay. I'm going to pause it here just on this one. This is a very interesting photo, and the reason is this. So y'all just stick with me here. Hey, Jim. Okay, now you do have rock cut ruins here. But what do you notice there on the pillar there in the middle? That's a weight-bearing pillar. What does that look like? Joseph, what does that look like? If you had that pillar in between your dining room and your kitchen, what would that notch right there in the middle, this right here, what would you call this right here, Joseph? What would you call that? This part right here on this column. Like if this was your kitchen and this was your dining room out here and this was your pretty column, what is this right here? That's right. I knew you would know. Thank you, Joseph. This would be your chair rail on the column itself. Now we'll let it go a little bit further. Oh, yeah. And again, we see this. We know this is part of the survivors, too. Anytime you see a doorway that's cut out square and then has a round opening, that is I think that's a holy thing. I think that's like the interdimensional kind of doorway thing. You know, you're going through this door, but you're really going through this door. I've seen this a lot in the survivor stuff. Now, even further back, Joseph, at the bottom of this column back here in the back, at the base of that column right there, what is that, Joseph? It could be poured. It could be poured, but they did a sorry ass job on their forms. That's why I say it's cut or chiseled, because it's real rough. It looks cut or chiseled. On there, back here in the back, through this doorway, you see another column like this right here. But it's way back there, whether it's a part of another doorway or just another weight-bearing column. What would this be at the bottom of the column? That's right, Joseph. It would be baseboard. Let's continue. You're seeing where your construction came from. You're seeing the shit that you see around your house. You're seeing right here. It's not coincidental. Okay. Here's some more. Look right here. Everything else has been...
Hey,
What? What?
did you move the bag the same with the bags?
Did I what? Okay, sorry, we had a little thing pop up there. All right, so what we do know is this is some ruins here, so everything's busted up and broke apart. But we can decipher some things from this picture, like this right here probably was that same kind of chair rail looking stuff around the column. We see another column here, and I'm thinking that's the chair rail there, and it used to just come up like this, and then, you know, because it kind of looks like that other one. But the same, maybe it's the same place. I don't know. Let it go a little bit.
Ruins from the earlier periods were later on converted in monasteries and churches. Here, same like in Turkey, you see only half of the room is left. That is why they had to add patches, otherwise the rooms would be useless. The monks would roll down the cliff as they sleep, for example. So this is an example of rooms that have been patched, while this here, they did not get patched. Everywhere the same trick. The mainstream historians pretend not to see that it is patched and persistently misrepresent the sites as being only Christian. Again, the patches are obvious. Here, some of the rooms have been reduced to mere scars in the bedrock. If the full thing was as recent as we're told, then where are the remains of the rest of the structure? Even if the structure was destroyed suddenly, then it wouldn't need such a long time to erode. Still, there should be the remnants in some form. But everything has been washed away or disappeared. Same like with this Greek island, massive rock-cut ruins. Just look at the width and height of this street or channel, or I don't know. Premises, rooms, deep underwater, well underwater. So what they do, they call the rooms caves, which is quite misleading because a cave is a natural formation. These large basins, they just ignore them because these are beaches, so apparently we can ignore them. But in one of the better preserved rock-cut rooms, somebody put some Christian paraphernalia, and now that is immediately recognized as historic site. This is Christian. This is allowed to exist in their history. And now back to Ethiopia, where not only we had the older so-called European runes, which are actually worldwide runes, but also later on, during the era of Christianity, people used writing very similar, if not identical, to what most people would call Cyrillic writing. And actually, believe it or not, but in the Middle Ages, Ethiopia was repeatedly referred to as the place of Saint John the Baptist. There could be two possible reasons for this. First of all, because Ethiopia was a Christian country. Yes, here are just two of the numerous medieval quotes which you can find in the works of Anatoly Fomenko. It describes Ethiopia as a place of monasteries and bishops. It also specifies the dark-skinned monks outnumbered the white-skinned. So probably there weren't that few pale-skinned anyway. And the other reason for which Ethiopia was the place of St. John the Baptist could have been that, believe it or not, but in the Middle Ages, Ethiopia was to be found primarily in Europe, in Africa as well, but it was a European phenomena. Yes, in the medieval books, the name Ethiopia was very often always related to, let's say, Germany or Siberia, things like that. Now, what we now call Ethiopia was called Abyssinia, mainly, so to say. Of course, other names would be used, like here, it is called India, nowadays Ethiopia. Okay, to make it more clear, even than that, here is your Ethiopian Ocean. Of course, thousands of kilometers away from any Ethiopia. And that map was not an exception. This was the norm here as well. Ethiopic Ocean. In modern language, the Southern Atlantic Ocean. So what is going on here? It is very important to understand what's going on. In the relatively recent past, they changed almost all geographical names. And that was done with the specific and very clear intention in mind to make old texts and old maps, which by chance have escaped parasitic destruction, unreadable and not understandable for the people who would come in future. So that's how they took care of the written history. Now let's see how did they take care of the actual historic sites. Let's visit a site located in the very capital of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa.
Ironically, located just outside the city's main university, in the area which is currently devoted to trash disposal, the ruins of an impressive medieval, so-called European-style fortress still stick out here and there from the trash. At places, the walls are preserved, even up to a height of about 4 meters.
Remains of many towers are still seen, and the full fortress has a very regular pentagonal shape, something which is typical for the so-called European star forts. The place is neglected to such an extent that I couldn't even discover its name. Just travelers talk about some ruins next to the University of Addis Ababa, where they must be teaching history, I guess. Do they? That so-called history deals only with the illiterate Africans who lived in huts, and that is to prepare them for the next stage of the parasitic plants, where they don't even have huts anymore even. And because they know that there are still some normal people left who will realize that this is seriously wrong, for them they have a different story. You see, kindly they are giving them a small check, and in this way the good people have to become convinced that they have done everything possible. Which is yet another illusion from the parasitic paradigm, because what we should do actually, if we want to put end to this nonsense and starvation, is first of all abolish central banking and get back to an honest monetary system. And once the packs of banksters no longer can create unlimited free money for themselves, then they won't be able to buy off entire countries as they do in Africa now, and the earth will slowly recover from the dark ages of the banksterism, and people of different color will again live like before, along each other as equals. Excessive hoarding of money should be also declared illegal. These artificial gaps in the society between rich and poor are only artificially created in order to keep us in constant fear and to instigate hatred. We no longer need politicians who waste our time with small talks about reforms, adjusting the conditions of slavery. We need politicians who will end up the slavery to the banksters. So the people of Africa, as the people of all continents, were regularly visited and helped by human and non-human angels. For example, the story of the tribe of the Dogons is somewhat different. Their angels came from Sirius, the star of Sirius. Some researchers found also confirmation to this legend that the people of the tribe tell in terms of advanced astronomy knowledge, which the Dogons could not have obtained in any reasonable way, keeping in mind their relatively primitive lifestyle.
So, let me show you some images of the indigenous original inhabitants of Africa. No, there's no confusion with the images. It's them. It's the Berbers. On one side, the mainstream penguins don't deny that these are the original inhabitants of northern and even central Africa. And on the other hand, they assure us dark-skinned people live in Africa because they were fried under the sun for many thousands of years, and that is why they became black. So how come some were getting fried and became black, and others were there in the same furnace conditions and remained rare and uncooked? The proper method for spotting and exposing liars has always been the same. As they continue to fabricate new and newer stories, the mountain peak of lies becomes so high that it's impossible anymore for all the stories to match. Actually, as you saw in the previous episode about Australia, I believe, the Berbers simply belonged to that initial wave of survivors' culture. As we call it, the people who tattooed their faces. And it's no surprise that we aren't being told the truth about their origin in northern Africa, because it was the same in Australia, in Peru, in China,
Okay, since we got to that point right there, that reminded me of something that I saw the other day, and I put on the watch later. So you see the tattoos on the face and stuff, though. Did you see those symbols?
Okay. Since we got to that point.
All right, good. So check this out. Now, you're going to think I'm making this shit up. I assure you, I am not making this shit up. Here we go.
in Siberia. Burials and mummies of Caucasian blonde people are found, but they never find time to include them in the official history. And the Berbers not only look Slavic, their writing is also very similar to the runes used in Europe. Now, the ancient African languages are basically part of this worldwide rune-like writing system. And the mainstream historians are so busy finding the differences between the different types of runes and giving them all completely different names, so that they look like a completely different writing system. They're so busy with that they fail to make the main observation, which is that on all continents without exception, these writings are found. Not even one continent is without them. That they belong to a single culture. How is it that they are assuring us that everybody evolved independently and was discovered at some point by the colonialists? But they were all using the same writing before their so-called discovery. Why is that?
So they're telling me this is an African language from Sudan, 1,000 years old. Then how come I don't know any African languages and I read here words written in modern Slavic, Mikhail, Cosmos? What a joke. No, this is not some local language from Central Africa. This was language used over continents. The patterns on the traditional Berber embroidery are identical to the patterns of the Slavic people. This is a historic Berber site. The traditional outfits of the Berbers are very similar, if not absolutely identical, with the traditional outfits of some Slavic nations. What you see now are photos of traditional Slavic outfits, and if it is not the caption of the photos, I myself cannot even distinguish are they Berbers or Slavs. Although I'm of East European descent myself, if I'm shown a traditional costume, I cannot say for sure is it Berber or is it Slavic. They are identical, the costumes, and very often even the people who wear them. Despite the obvious connection between the Berbers and the people of Europe that even a small kid will notice, in the mainstream history they are viewed as absolutely independent. Credo Mutwa is a very well known and respected person in all Africa. He is a shaman and religious leader. He still remembers the old history that the native people had before the parasitic forces came and substituted it with lies. In Africa, it's the same as in all continents. The locals were visited by angels, highly advanced beings who were tall, who taught them, educated them. The locals called them Muzungu. They contributed not only to making the locals more civilized, but they also contributed in a very practical manner to the local gene pool. That's why all over Africa, sometimes people with blue eyes or blonde hair get born. So, as in all other continents, both demoniac and angelic species left their genetic stamps. In Egypt, during pharaonic times, it wasn't different at all. It's obvious from the old depictions that all races lived along each other. Only in very modern times people became racists, brainwashed by the mass media. That's what they show us there, politicians who talk about brotherhood, love and democracy, while actively implementing programs and laws which create further inequalities in the societies. These laws and programs, they create gaps between the races. And this very modern phenomena of the racism is further nourished by shameless, fraudulent interpretations of history or straightforwardly fictional events which they are telling us. Like, for example, the situation with slavery. Things were radically different from what they are telling us. We will review slavery later on. Now, let's see what kind of people actually were buried in pharaonic times.
King Tutankhamun's DNA shows that he was a Caucasian person. I wonder how many of the other pharaohs they've tested. Are any results published? But still uncomfortable facts leak out here and there now and then. Like, for example, in this cemetery, with some 1 million mummies. And very carefully near the end of the articles, the mainstream newspapers mention that many of the mummies inside were of blonde or red-haired people, and, surprise, 213 centimeters tall. As far as I understand, they actually closed this cemetery excavation, but some of the bodies were found some 30 meters below ground level. That is pretty darn deep for a burial. The burial is not that extremely old, as we can see from the stage of preservation of the bodies, and yet how did this massive amount of 30 meters of soil pile up around them?
And now we reached the topic of the mysterious land masses and sand masses in Egypt, a topic which doesn't get at all the attention it deserves, because it could prove pivotal in revealing the true history of ancient Egypt, as we call it. Actually, some parts of the story are not at all ancient. And the main points here are that there is evidence showing that in pharaonic times the region of Egypt was a tropical habitat, very pleasant for habitation. On the other hand, we have evidence that it turned into a desert within a flash, while at the same time, if you open the official information on Sahara, you will find all that talk of the wind and the rivers grinding rocks into sand for millions and billions of years. Again, the fool thinks things after fraud, because the stories, they don't match at all. And on the other hand, the area around the Dead Sea, which can be seen also kind as a part of this desert area, over there we also have evidence that it was tropical, pleasant, in the relatively very recent past, and that it was burned, turned into a desert by weapons, as discussed in the previous video about the timelines of the Earth.
That made me remember a mainstream history documentary that I saw years ago on a mainstream TV channel, where archaeologists were excavating villages that were swallowed up by the desert in Egypt. The picture that their excavations revealed was pretty sad. People were lying around there as if frozen in their daily activities, on the doorsteps of their homes, in the rooms outside, doing their daily activities. They were not buried. It really happened in a flash. In Egypt, they certainly didn't have the tradition of leaving the bodies of their relatives to lay around in their houses. They used to bury them, mummify them, and the fact that they were left like this means that the disasters struck so quickly that there weren't any survivors even to bury the dead.
And as we delve further into this, very interesting stuff starts surfacing? A very simple question. There is a whole lot of sand out there in Sahara, really lots of it. How did it end up over there, moreover in a flash? We are being assured by the mainstream science that Sahara formed absolutely naturally, and they are telling us that with such a certainty as if they were first-hand witnesses when it was made. In reality, that idea is only a speculation, non-confirmed hypothesis. On one hand, the origin of all sand, which looks like this smooth, of this color, is very suspicious, and various scientists have been wondering and raising the question, is the sand in the desert as such of natural origin even? Its chemical composition doesn't match the type of stone which allegedly was ground by gradual erosion to turn into sand. Yes, there are some beaches with usually black sand that really formed naturally, but these, the yellowish Sahara sands, they have been raising suspicion. Many geologists have said this sand really looks alien. And if one tries to discuss this point about how Sahara appeared all of a sudden so recently within a very short geological period, the mainstream people will try to go around the subject with vague things like the rivers must have carried it. Really, what kind of a river can carry this much sand? It will get clogged in no time. And from where did it carry it? Was there another Sahara somewhere else? And all of a sudden it packed and moved to the place of the current Sahara? But instead of wasting time with their so-called hypothesis, if we just look at this photograph, what we see, a leveled surface of the earth and then really lots of sand just dumped there. And even the leveled surface on which the vehicle is driving, even that we are not sure if it has natural origins, because don't forget that the burials of the rather tall blonde people were found under 30 meters of earth. It is not normal to dig that much for a grave. It really looks like that the entire Egyptian civilization was buried with layers of soil. I don't know if it is clay as everywhere else or what, and then even sand on the top. After all, that seems to have been the standard procedure over the ages, for example in Turkey. This very interesting site of Nimrud, the main structure is covered with a pile of very industrially looking gravel. Of course, the mainstream version is that primitive chaps dragged it in baskets on donkeys and mules. But in this penguin fairy tale, they conveniently skip to tell us the part of how did the lords of the mules and donkeys produce all this gravel. It's of very uniform size, it's very clean. You can't just collect this out there on the hills nearby. It has to be manufactured somehow. Also, Teotihuacan, and a couple of meters of clay. Massive amounts of clay would have been needed to cover the city. How did it land there? Another example of selectively burying historic sites under clay is the Great Pyramid of Cholula. Again, it turned out that the mainstream stories of how it was buried were a deliberate fraud, as shown in previous videos. And it is not that the dark Africans were just sitting and waiting for the gods to culture them. They were also actively traveling all over the world. Now, the Olmecs from America were a very much international mixture. Some of them are clearly African, and the proofs for that start with these huge stone heads, some reaching 3.5 meters. If the facial features are not enough, you can see the braids on the back of some of the heads, typical African braids. And also some old skeletons of the Olmecs show clear connection with the African race, and so are some similarities in their writing systems. Few more African faces from South and North America. First episode about the true history of America, we saw numerous depictions of African elephants found on the both American continents. The connection between the languages and inscriptions found in various locations in both South and North America are again proof of international relations. The African Olmecs had interesting friends, Chinese Olmecs, wearing the typical tattoo, face tattoo, which is one of the worldwide watermarks of the earlier waves of survivors. Or, in this case, to be more precise, people who received their culture from the survivors. The parallels are countless. Now, these are comparison between Chinese and Olmec hieroglyphs. Now we have successfully managed to wipe out all Aztecs, which makes it very easy for the mainstream historians to tell us that they looked like native people, like Native Americans, but the photos show otherwise. Not necessarily all Aztecs were of African looks, but certainly there were some amongst them, as shown on this pre-Columbian mural. And these are more African artifacts found all over South and North America. Dogon cliff dwellings from Mali in Africa. And these are cliff dwellings from North America belonging to the Anasazi tribe. They look the same as the African. Other African cliff dwellings called Tellem Africa also had its castles in a style which is typically European, at least for those who listen only to mainstream historic sources. This resembles the Pantheon in Rome, but is in the African city of Kilwa. An ancient traveler shares his first-hand witness account of the Tanzanian city of Kilwa. It belonged to the Swahili people. Ibn Battuta says that's the name of the traveler. He describes it as one of the most beautiful This resembles
Okay, I wanted to address something here on this little thing here. I think this is an acoustical kind of chamber as well. And to answer SS 1964's question. Okay, I wanted to address something here on this little thing here. Richard Clarke is an internet terrorist. He's wanted by 72 law enforcement agencies all over the world. That's all you need to know about Richard Clarke. We'll get rid of him one day. He'll be gone one day. So anyway, this is an acoustical chamber, it looks like to me. And then here we go again with the more conventional building styles. Pow. Look. You have baseboard, a baseboard or a kick plate or a pedestal, but mainly that would be baseboard. This would be like a, yes, it's detail on there, but why is it detail, right? Why didn't they put it there in the middle? Why did they put it there? And why did they put it there? But you'll see that these columns right here are in the same style as the ruins that you saw somewhere else, with the chair rail and the baseboard. This right here is not part of the original stuff. Somebody added that later. And we're going to see some more of this again right next. Well, I thought so. Okay. Same thing again. Look at these arches. Look at how they left this pedestal and these bases. Now these are more of an octagonal kind of cut. I think they were probably cut. I'm sure this was a mine. And see, they didn't just arbitrarily go in here and start cutting all this shit out. No, they were mining this. And when they got done mining it, they prettied it up and made it into something. I think that's how that works. Anyway, we'll let them continue.
Battuta says that's the name of the traveler. He describes it as one of the most beautiful and well-constructed cities in the world. We have been led to believe that ancient Africans were jumping naked after bananas, while only we in Europe were building things like this, but this is in Mogadishu, Somalia. This is Mogadishu some 100 years ago, when people were still enjoying the culture left by the survivors for them. But after the people of Somalia accepted the new history and the new paradigm and the new advanced civilization, this is what happened to them. We don't know how many millions or even billions are pumped into that region coming from funds for spreading democracy, keeping peace, and other shameless lies, while I have heard from people who have been personally there that the situation with the so-called wild pirates has absolutely nothing to do with what we are told by the mass liars media. The so-called wild pirates, they enjoy very well functioning top modern communication system connected to satellites, of course, because there is no official ground telecom connection or whatever you call it. So what to speak of anybody fighting them? They're being like given help to destabilize the region.
Africa was well connected to the world, with modern, for its time, poets, and was minting its own coins. Coins that were used as far as Australia. At that time, the African people were respected as members of this worldwide culture, and were traveling freely, not as slaves. This clearly African person lived on the shore of the Black Sea. As we saw in the previous episode, people from Africa, wearing typical African skirts and accompanied by live giraffe, were even depicted on the walls of an Indian temple. And on the other hand, Indian artifacts are found in Africa. Africa was not at all backwards. We've been lied to about it.
And the reason for which they want us to believe that Africa was backwards is to convince the people of Africa to accept the fraudulent loans of the Western banks. And once they fall into that trap, the land is owned by the foreign big corporations, the people are driven away, either killed or starved. Local criminals are put in the respective governments, all financed by the funds for spreading democracy. And whoever has been left alive by the wars, from the simple people, they can fend for themselves on the garbage piles. Now this piece of beautiful blue geopolymer, or in other words man-made stone, is from Sierra Leone. Our laboratories today cannot even figure out how did they color it, how did they make it. This site is in Ghana and very much resembles the European so-called kurgan structures. Now look at this African ruler or king, I don't know who is he, important person from Benin. He looks exactly like European, his color and hat and outfit, everything. Well, in general, I must say mainstream history is being quite unfair to the African continent, presenting them like semi-dressed people without any culture and living only in mud huts, while the civilization that we have is attributed only to the Europeans who supposedly came up with it. No, they did not come up with it. We all inherited it from the old civilizations. The colonialists did not bring any culture to Africa, they only destroyed as much as they could, and whatever they couldn't tear down, for that they hired corrupt historians who wrote down a new history for them, according to which all the old buildings remaining from the culture of the survivors were relabeled as colonial. This doesn't look like a mud hut culture to me. It's from Sudan. The southern parts of Africa are home to millions, yes, quite few millions of circles. Some of them are simply earthworks, while others are proper stone ruins, some of them quite impressive. Official archaeologists are not interested in them. They don't conduct any excavations on them, which is of course a sure sign that they will not fit in their expectations. And indeed, these circles are somewhat odd. Many of them don't have doors or windows. Apparently, that means not much to official historians, and they continue referring to them as cattle compounds, built for all kinds of flying cattle, apparently. Now let's visit a site that may look to us like the capital of all stone circles of South Africa. It is called Great Zimbabwe, and the official version of its history is that nobody knows who built it and when and why and what was it. Well, when we hear in mainstream history that it is a mystery or we don't know, usually that means they don't want you to know who built it. The style of construction used in Great Zimbabwe is very, very similar to the one of the Chachapoya people of Peru. This is Zimbabwe, the site is called Kami, and this is in Peru. Now the circles in Zimbabwe don't have much decoration, but this is the main one. This is in Zimbabwe, and now this is in Peru. Now the bird symbol is considered the emblem of the Great Zimbabwe site. It is definitely the main one over there. So what we have in the Chachapoya culture? Same bird and even the same zigzag pattern. Who were the Chachapoya people? They were red-haired and belonged to the Caucasian race. That is clear from their mummies that are found in Peru. We don't have skeletons from the people who built Great Zimbabwe, but we have an interesting medieval painting. Maybe this interesting African tribe from Zimbabwe had something to do with the architectural ideas of Great Zimbabwe, or maybe even building it. Why not? Of course, for mainstream history, this is unacceptable heresy, and that's why they labeled it fanciful depiction. It's a typical approach that they do with all ancient maps and sketches and drawings that don't fit their ideas. If you want to get a real feel of how was it to live in this type of dwellings, you can visit the Italian village of Alberobello, where we have that very same style of architecture, but much better preserved. There are a couple of mind-blowing earthworks in Africa, and here I'm gonna show you just one of them. It goes across several countries: Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia and Angola. Not only the canals are dead straight, but they also continue in that way for hundreds of kilometers. Now this is just one single canal. It is half-kilometer wide. This is just huge. Now the straight lines, dead straight, go on for over 400 kilometers. And I even haven't marked all of them. This continues here as well. These are also canals, so it is much, much more. Yes, much, much more. Hundreds of kilometers. Was this made by primitive people living in mud houses and carrying the earth in baskets? I personally cannot believe it because, first of all, the amount of time invested, if somebody starts calculating, will reach a dead end to start with. And second of all, if the work was engineered and carried out by simple people on ground level, it would have followed, most likely, the natural curves of the terrain, which it doesn't. The scale of the full thing leaves the impression that it has been done from above. These are hills. I mean, did they really dig by hand, dig out the hills and remove them? No, I really don't believe this. The area covered by this particular system is at least some 1,000 kilometers in diameter. This is huge. You can fit a couple of entire European countries in it. So what is the purpose of this enormous canal structure? Initially I thought it's actually irrigation, but later on, as I noticed one detail, I think most likely it was something else, because do you see here how we have another grid crossing the better visible grid at an angle? It is not very well visible, but if you spend some time, you will notice it. Basically, whatever gigantic, I don't know, bagger or whatever streams of sound was clearing all this, sometimes did it in that direction and they did it in this direction. So it looks like they were doing something with the area, clearing it up, leveling it, or so many other possibilities. They could have been testing the earth below for something to mine, or this is part of some sort of mining, or maybe it was a weapon, or maybe they were simply archiving parts of the earth for the future civilizations to come. Or maybe, because the earth is an artificial creation as such anyway, maybe these are patterns left from the time when they were shaping the earth. Like they grew a couple of mountains made of stone, and then exactly like an artist plays with the clay, maybe they, yeah, let's make a valley here. Or maybe an entirely different reason that we can't even imagine, because the full thing is beyond our scale of understanding. I mean, what kind of technology do we have nowadays that could make meters deep road?
All right. She kind of gets into the weeds a little bit from here. I'd just rather leave it there, unless y'all want to continue it. Since y'all are talking about that in chat, I have I thought for a long time on how to explain your currency system, even as deviated as it is from its original. It still works like this. Are you ready? So you can do this with kids. You tell the kid, you want to buy something like some gum? They'll say yes. Say, okay, here's like, you can give them like 3 dimes or 3 quarters. Say it's 75 cents, give them 3 quarters. Say, now look, a month from now, you're going to have to give me 4 quarters. And they say, all right. And when you go to get your 4 quarters, you'll be lucky if they even have 3. But they'll still, if you do it all at the same time, like in a 1 minute time frame, give them 3 quarters. Say, look, it's been a month now. I need my 4 quarters. And they'll look down at their hand at the 3 quarters, and they'll hand them over to you and say, yeah, but it's for your interest. And they'll say, but you only gave me 3 quarters. And I say, okay, I'm going to let you borrow 3 more quarters, and you can go ahead and give me the one you owe me now. And then they understand the exponential burying that goes on in debt. I've done that with every kid that I've run across, even on my own and other people's kids, to explain how your money works, how the money system works. You give a kid 3 quarters, say a month from now you got to give me 4. They say, okay. And you say, okay, it's been a month. Give me my 4 quarters. And they look down, they say, I only got 3. You say, okay, give me them 3, and I'll loan you 3 more so you can pay me the one you owe me. And you still owe me. I know. Probably going, that's ridiculous, Jeff. Well, it's not like you tripped on YouTube and fell in the door here. Yeah, obviously you saw the sign that said you'd have to be crazy to go in that stream. Boy. Hey, what you doing, Jim? What you doing? I ought to call you. I think it will. Oh, did you send me a message? Any hell? Stupid slow thing. Oh, okay. Yeah. If you're out there, Jim, I hope that you didn't try to call, and I didn't have my headset on, so I wouldn't have been able to hear it. Let me put my headset on here. I'll go ahead and call you. What time was that? That was 10. Oh, that was just now. You just now sent that message. Okay. Just call in whenever you're ready, Jim. That's fine. Just call in whenever you're ready. I can hold things down until you get in here and save this place. It's, you know what? You can't save this. Nobody, Super Broadcaster Man can't even save this channel. This channel is in a negative demonetized thing. I'm waiting for YouTube to start telling me I gotta pay them money every month just to put my shit on here. That's probably gonna happen next. It'll be like going to a Steam It plan. You know, you have reached your 500 megabyte upload limit for this month. 20 minutes into a stream, you've hit your streaming limit for the month. Like, no option to buy more even. Be like, no, we don't even want you on here. We're not going to sell you. No. That's your limit, period. You don't get more. I don't care how much money you got. They'll have subscriptions for different numbers of comments that you can leave. They'll move it backwards because, remember, that's how the internet used to be when it first got started. People want to charge you for every little thing. I mean, and they wouldn't do it for the money. They wouldn't do it to make money. They would do it just to make people go away. Because YouTube never made any money. YouTube still doesn't make any money. All the advertising they can sell doesn't. They offer up YouTube at a loss. Google takes a loss on YouTube, but it drags everybody in the fucking door. Yes, I should get billed for each F-bomb that I drop. I can't pay in Bitcoin though. Hey, I got a prophecy. Pretty soon, Google will offer Bitwords, and that's AdWords that you can pay for with Bitcoin. Bitwords. There you go. I just made it happen just by saying that. Y'all understand how that works? It's like Gene Roddenberry, man. He writes about Star Trek. Everything kind of sort of comes true for what's there or whatever. You know, when they say that you create the universe around you just by thinking about it or whatever. Is that true? I don't know. That could be true. I know. I create my own damn universe. I got Jekyll and Hyde going in my damn brain because there's a part of my brain setting shit up that I don't quite understand. It's like the evil Jeff with a bad sense of humor. Here, let me materialize a complete fucking and a retard with a computer and an internet connection. Bing! Oh, here's another one. Bing! Here's another one. Bing! Here. Oh, speaking of that, you know what? I think it's time to play one of Tracy's videos. Because I rarely ever play Sweetheart's videos. Rarely ever. But I'll play this one. Wait a minute. This... That one. Hold on. It's crazy, ain't it? Hold on.
Jeff Stewart. No.
Jeffrey.
No, not that Jeff Stewart. Not him again.
This is a very, very, very important video. There is a guy on YouTube, Jeff Stewart.
Jeff Stewart.
Jeff.
No.
Jeffrey.
Jeff Stewart. No.
Jeffrey.
That Jeff Stewart is just pure trouble.
Ban Jeff Stewart.
Jeff Stewart.
I don't like that Jeff Stewart. That Jeff Stewart is pure trouble. I say stay away from that Jeff Stewart.
Jeff Stewart sucks.
Fuck no.
They all still call their daddy Jeff.
I hate Jeff Stewart.
We can also hang out Jeff Stewart's chat.
But Jeff, you're a dick.
Jeff Stewart.
Jeff doesn't know the difference between his ass and a hole in the ground. Jeff Stewart sucks!
Yeah, but Jeff.
State your name for the record.
My name is Make Me a Sandwich, bitch.
I had no idea who this Jeff guy was. Now I do.
That's funny. That was... Oh shit, ring my Skype. Alright, let's see if my Skype rings. My Skype is not ringing though. Oh, wait a minute. 10:52. Here, let me call you. It's not giving me a damn notification that you're calling. I can't even hear the shit. Shit. It's not even making any noise. Oh, there it goes. I am not here yet. Just hang on. I'll be here in just a second. That is the most awesomest thing ever. How you doing tonight? Oh, I don't know how the hell I'm doing, to be honest with you. I hadn't really thought about it all day. I guess I'm doing all right. Nothing's hurting. You know, every day you get up and nothing like gets pulled out of place and you make it all day without hurting yourself. That's a good day. It's a very good day. Mm-hmm. Man, we can't all get a job with the Clintons. I can understand when people say or they think like our language has been completely changed and it was changed for nefarious purposes and they did a lot of things with our language to make us more evil or whatever. I mean, I've seen the water experiments with ice or ice crystals and language and right. Well, I mean, like they would say like to a drop of water on a little fucking slide, they'd say like I love you and it would be a beautiful crystal, and then they'd say I hate you and it would be a ugly all fucked up crystal. Yeah, that too. That's how about the Chinese dude that could talk to plants? Did you ever see that dude? That was some weird stuff. I agree. Yeah, there's those the rice stuff right there. I was looking for that one video. I think it was Chinese guy talks to plants. What was it? That guy right there. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I saw that one. I saw that one. This guy. I'm searching it wrong. Communication with plants. I'm trying to find that stupid video that I saw a long time ago where the dude's got the plant hooked up to the electrodes, and you know what I'm talking about? Did you ever see that one? I'd remember if it was on the thumbnail. Yeah. They had a lady come in and chop up a one plant right next to another plant, and they had the one plant that wasn't being chopped up hooked up to the electrodes, and they just went ape shit. Like, he was like, "Oh no, don't kill him!" And then, like, everything cooled out for a couple of days, and they brought that lady back into the room, and the fucking plant went bonkers again. That was nuts. That was nuts to me. Just so much weird stuff out there. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I forget y'all can still see what I'm doing here. Let me get out of this. Sure. We only see what's reflected. Right. It's got to hit something for you to see it. What you been up to? Oh, is that what you do? You sharpen scissors? You don't got bubblegum machines too, do you? Why not? If you're sharpening salon scissors, man, you should have 1,000 bubblegum machines too. Yeah, I make so much money on my videos, it's unreal. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all that money, to be honest with you. I've been trying to work a way to that's right. All my shill money. I do weird stuff for money. And not, yeah, they can hear. Of course. Oh shit. Are you serious? I didn't know they couldn't hear you like that. Wow.
That's what
all right.
Tracy said.
All right, you're live. Go.
3, 2, 1. And we're starting over.
And here we go.
So all the shit I had to say to oh jeez, man. This is just ridiculous. This is exactly why this is the worst
show on
live broadcast on YouTube.
Goddamn right. This is the worst damn show on YouTube.
Unbelievable, man. You owe me 50 cents.
At least. In Bitcoin.
Shit.
So I get in trouble a lot. I did this one right, this thing right here, and a lot of people they got mad.
Yeah.
About it because let's see if I can find. Is it this one here? So I know that George Soros was funding Antifa and stuff. Why? Nobody can see that right there. Well, let me get something else in since you can't see that.
Tracy, this is another reason that you need to be within shoe throwing distance of him when he's broadcasting. You know, when crap like that goes down, you can just turn around and chuck one through the door, you know, get his attention really quick. But you got kids to watch and stuff. I understand. It's a rough life.
All right, so you see this right here?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that there? On the watch page?
The Antifa shit, yeah. And now you went back to chat.
Yeah, so that no. That thing right there. I don't know. Did you see that right there? The spinner.
I saw the little Antifa thing going by. Yeah, all the little flashes, photos and whatnot.
How about that right there? That right there?
Well, hang on. Give me 30 seconds because you got it. There's a delay.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I see him. Yeah, the little hoodie dude.
Yeah, that's me.
No shit. Where's all your fucking hair, man?
Oh, I shave my head every 3 months. I don't get a haircut because I don't get haircuts. I cut my own hair. I shave my head.
Well, let it grow, dude. You know your hair is like the antenna. Your antenna to the world around you.
I don't know.
You can feel things through your hair that like seconds or maybe even minutes before you hear them with your ears or see them with your eyes. Your hair is. That's why Cherokee and you know when they all got abducted into the military and they made them shave their heads, they couldn't track people the way they used to be able to. And they're like, "What the fuck happened to all your senses and stuff?" Well, you cut our hair. It's your hair is your antenna to the world, dude.
Okay. Well, I ain't gonna tell you my birth date because you might tell me something about that. I don't want to know either.
No, I don't know any shit about birthdays.
All right, so wait, that's all the image.
I'm just trying to throw some knowledge at you, brother.
I was looking for something. I was going to tell you about the George Soros stuff.
Okay.
So you know George Soros.
Where'd you get that cool hoodie at, man?
I made it.
Right on.
And
it's like a piece of T-shirt you sewed inside the hood.
No. It's military grade netting.
Right on.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I
See-through
can
mesh.
find this.
I got spandaflage and stuff like that. I still got my ghillie suit from the military too.
Is that it? Yeah, there we go. All right, so was custom making these and selling them on eBay, taking Soros money.
Nice.
I figured if he's got money to toss around, I can certainly help him out. So I get in trouble for shit. I think out of the box and kind of do shit that other people, and makes a lot of people mad.
Still got those for sale?
Huh?
You still got those for sale?
I got a couple of them. I don't know if they got. I can do. I'd have to do. I know you're a big dude. I got a 2XL, but
I'm not that big, man.
Oh, you look like
I'm 6 foot 230.
Yeah, it'd be a 2XL. Be tight on you.
Oh no! Well, usually, I mean, like I bought some hoodies from my company with my company logo on them and stuff, and I just got regular extra large, and they fit fine.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
They're, I think they're Gildans, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. I'll have to look.
That's what they look like.
Not a big gelatinous fucking, Andre the Giant or nothing. I
don't have any of these soles. I sold the only 2 soles that I made, which has got the string instead of a zipper up the front. It's got a string up top.
Yeah, that's the kind I want. I don't want no zip up shit.
Yeah, that's all I got left.
Oh, we'll go get a couple more and make them for me. I'll pay you for them.
All right. I gotta order them.
All right.
But yeah, they're cool.
I hope they're comfortable. I don't want no scratchy shit. I want some really good.
Actually, they're double thick. They're double thick. Is how I do them. They're twice as thick as regular ones. I buy really good materials. The damn netting is near about bulletproof, man. It dulls a pair of scissors as soon as you cut 6 inches of it. It's ridiculous. I ain't never in my life used any material. And I didn't mean to even buy it like that. It just came like that. And I was like, this is one fucking great source of material right here. Layer this stuff right here and have what do they call it? Kevlar almost. But you can see right through it.
Right on.
Up close.
Right on.
And actually, and the people that was buying them wasn't even Antifa people. I sold them as bee suits on eBay just to see what they would do. I didn't really sell that many of them.
Well, no, it's good for facial recognition. You know, keep your fucking face off the cameras and shit when you're walking around downtown or whatever.
Right. I mean, people might think it's bad but I'm telling you, it's getting bad out there. You know, it's like, well, if I don't need to hide my face, why are you trying to fucking see it and take a picture of it everywhere I go? You know, I mean, quit telling me I'm not supposed to be worried about nothing when... If I was standing around you with a camera on you 100% of the time, everywhere you went and spying on you and looking at you and stuff like that, you'd be like, dude, get away from me. What the hell's wrong with you? Why are you always spying on me? We're Americans.
Right. But we're the enemy, man. You know. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
That's right. Well, I mean, they don't seem to ever be able to catch anybody doing anything they're supposed to. Hell, they even lost all the damn records, all the damn emails and stuff, the text messages.
Oh, yeah. Just now? Just recently?
Fucking FBI. Yeah. That's swell bunch of Joes right there now.
Yeah, buddy. Good. Them's good folks.
It's like that definitely doesn't make them look guilty of whatever the fuck we thought was on them damn emails.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's like the Lois Lerner, you know, computer wiped my hard drive accidentally. I got up from my chair. I accidentally spilled some coffee on my keyboard. Next thing I know, pow, the hard drive's gone.
It was my fucking cat, man.
Really?
Yeah, it was dancing on the computer.
Are they targeting Tea Party people? Oh no, that's conspiracy theory. I mean, it's at one thing after it's like they are always coming after us, and they don't ever go after. And the people that are supposed to go after, they're just on a beach somewhere enjoying their billions and trillions of dollars that they stole from everywhere and used to buy drugs and make more money. And I mean, I will give the Clintons one thing. They are absolute entrepreneurs. They are business people. They're in the drug business. They're in the gun business. They're in the Stinger missile business. They're in the nuclear uranium reprocessing business now. It'd be like the owner of Progress Energy or something like that, or some Shell maybe, or Exxon or something like that. Being, they could actually, if you turn them upside down, it actually hurt the country, because then like half the gas stations would be short on gas all the time. Because it upset the company. They go in and take all the profits and close down all the businesses and stuff like that. Imagine how much shit is open in the name of the Hillary and Bill, entrepreneurship in the world. How many buildings do they rent? How many people do they employ? So you can't take that away from them. They damn sure are entrepreneurs. They definitely weren't just trying to. They weren't trying to go up there and soak as much. Hell, the money that they were going to make on pay-to-play stuff, that wasn't near as much as they were looking for. They was looking to be the world's drug dealer and the world's arms dealers. And probably money laundering, or probably laundering money for the other drug kingpins down in Mexico that they didn't control.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in heroin. They've been, when she was Secretary of State. I mean, good Lord. What in the fuck was Libya all about? That's insane. That's insane. They just wanted his gold.
That's all they do.
They wanted to flip his country upside down, open up the floodgate for the African migrants that were actually being stopped. I mean, hell, even Gaddafi said that at that world conference back in, it was about a year before he got killed. He was sitting there telling them, man, one by one, they're going to get us all. And Bashir al-Assad was sitting over there fucking laughing at him like he was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see that? You know what I'm talking about? It was hilarious. I was just like, man, you look at that now and you go, you know, I'm pretty good on Bashir al-Assad's side as far as being manipulated and all that shit, being all the shit stolen and bombed and shot up. But hell, Muammar Gaddafi was right. He was laughing at Muammar Gaddafi like he was a crazy guy because at that time Syria was doing just fine. They were still a member of NATO.
Right.
He was laughing at him like he was a conspiracy theorist and he was funny.
That we've done it for what, about 60 years now. Anybody that doesn't go along with our banking system, you know, we got to go in there and start some regime change, bomb some freedom into them, and you know, it's the same bullshit. It's been going on since before I was born, man. You know, like the crap going on over in North Korea.
I don't remember us. I mean, I remember us. I remember Korea. I remember Vietnam. We kind of got the fuck out of Vietnam. We kind of still stayed in Korea, in Japan, in Germany. But you know, like, what do you think about Afrin and Man Bitch? And what would you think if the name of your town was Man Bitch?
Man Beach.
Man Beach.
They just dropped bombs on Khalil too. You know, I was like, wow, that's, you know, Khalil.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you want, huh?
The CIA border force.
Yeah, it's going to keep going as long as the bankers keep funding it. You know what I mean? Until the only way the war is going to stop is when the soldiers stop fighting. When they finally drop their weapons and go, this is bullshit, man. I'm going home. Fuck all this. That's the only way. You know, if there's still people out there that are willing to fight for a paycheck, kill other people for a paycheck, and mercenaries included, you know, not just the military.
That's about
mercenaries
what it comes down to now.
Right. Then it's going to continue, you know, until God comes back and starts stomping on the earth and shit and, you know, changing everything. But we all got to wait for that one. So. That's why I got my place in the middle of the woods, and I don't have any neighbors, and I do what I want, and I live the way I want. And I, you know, when I need money, I go out and make money. It's evil, and I only use it when I have to use it. But, you know, it's a necessity. It's a necessity right now because this is the paradigm that I'm living in. So I do what I do. You know, I live my life the way I want to live it. I don't let anybody else tell me how to live.
I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
I love you, man. The only thing that I have to say to you and Tracy and anybody else listening that happens to be on the east side of the Mississippi is that you're on the wrong side of the Mississippi right now. You know, 2/3 of the population of the U.S. live on that side of that big-ass river, and that's too many people in too small amount of space. So my advice to you would be to huddle up your money the best you can and move west, young man.
Well, I personally think that they should. I'm all good with, like, you know, new locations under duress. But there are fucking a whole lot of people that I'd love to see fucking get the fuck out from around here. And if you just tell me which direction to point them in, I'd be more than happy to point them in that direction, and they can go just as swiftly as they can.
Well, if they're degenerate style people, then point them toward Canada or something. You know, yeah. No, I don't even want them on this side of the Mississippi, man. Send them up to, man. You know,
when you hit the Mississippi, make it right, and don't stop till you get to Canada.
You need to go to New York, man. That's where people like you make lots of money.
Or I can be from Boston. Just come to my channel. You don't have to listen to anybody but me.
The West is screwed up too, Joy, but there's a lot of open space that you can just buy and own for your, you know, and just, you know, that's what I did. I moved out to the middle of the woods and basically told people to fuck off. I only go around people when I have to, you know. I can interact with anybody over this internet thing. Being in person, and, you know, I can deal with it for a while, but when I get home, I have to take a shower because the stupid is just contagious and I don't want to get it infected by it. So I wash off the stupid when I get home. And then it's me and the dogs and all the critters that I got around the property, and I'm good.
Lori Gale just moved out of the country because she likes getting drunk and shooting shit off the front porch.
Right? Hey, man.
That's it.
I got a nice big, you know, it's only 100 yards, but I got a nice big lane right off the backside of the house, and I can go out there and shoot anytime I want to. And I got a couple of hanging targets for my bow, and, you know, got a forge here. If I want to go out and beat on some steel and shit, I'd start a fire and throw the steel in it and go beat on the anvil for a while and, you know, do my thing.
She even rolls her own cigarettes.
Awesome sauce.
She got like a cigarette roller machine. She'll be sitting there loading tobacco in it and rolling cigarettes as she's making her videos. Yeah, you never seen her? You need to go watch some of her videos. She's a really cool lady.
I hope she uses green tobacco.
Oh, I don't know what she uses.
Yeah, most people will get my reference.
Oh, I get it. I'm so uncool. Took me a minute.
I should be over 200 subs over on Boiler Room Radio, Land Without Judgment. I think they said his name was what's his name? Justin? Justin? Is that you, Justin?
Yes. That's Justin.
I should have a couple hundred subs, I think. Unless, you know, 100 of them might have left last night. I don't know.
Yeah. It said, hey.
Right. They're like, oh shit, you know, I've been subbed for like 3 months. I just now listened to one of your episodes and fuck that. Link, that would be youtube.com/Boiler Room Radio, all one word. There you go. Or you could probably click on my name in the room, you know, go scroll back in the chat and.
But he does horrible hangouts too, so definitely he's buying for a worse channel on YouTube as well. But he will not be able to get that. We own that.
Jim's videos are now banned in some countries. U.S. probably most of the U.S. I don't give a shit. I don't monetize my channel, so I don't give a shit. You know, they can send me all the. I've never gotten a letter from YouTube telling me to chill out or that they were gonna, you know, suspend me or anything for anything that I say. So, you know, when that happens, I'll go to D2.
I've never gotten that letter. I've gotten. I had a 24-hour channel going a long time ago with guys all over the world, different time zones, and fucking one of them decided it'd be a good idea to stream the fucking Super Bowl live while the Super Bowl was playing live on my.
Whoops.
Yeah, man, it shut the channel down in like less than 10 minutes. Fucking that channel was gone, man. That channel was, I mean, it was like gone. It was like, dude, there was like 2,500 videos and hangouts on that channel. Gone. Never backed up. I learned now.
Yeah.
But it's not always what you think it is. Like, I've had videos blocked that out of 6 hours of broadcast, they'd clock me on 1 minute and 30 seconds worth of shit on the video or on the stream.
Yeah.
And then now they'll leave it up to the copyright holder at that point as to whether they want to monetize it or just block the video. And it, depending on what the country is where it gets blocked at. Like, if you play shit like from the Kinks or Ozzy Osbourne, shit like that, you'll get a strike from that UK company, and they'll block you in the UK and just pretty much all over the European Union. But like Canada, they'll just block you in Canada. A lot of blocks I get are just because I play dumb shit that I shouldn't be playing. But again, I don't fucking care. If I want to show somebody something, I want to show them something. If I get a strike or a block, that's okay. I got the same people to watch me all the time. They ain't gonna change nothing with us. It's just the address that we end up going to. So you know, it's their real estate. They can move me around all they like. I've just learned to back my shit up. That's all.
I don't even back anything up, man. If it gets deleted, it gets deleted. I don't give a shit. You know, I really don't give a shit.
I want it available for my kids so they can see that I was fighting.
Oh well, I don't have any kids, so.
You ain't got no kids?
No, that's the one thing I missed out on, man. My mom always wished I'd have.
You want some kids? How many kids you want?
This weekend only, 1995.
How many kids you want, man? I can get you all the kids you want. I got a bunch of kids, man. I got grown ass kids that you don't even have to. You don't even have to like watch them use the bathroom or nothing, man. You can just let them go.
They're potty trained, bro.
Their house broken.
Every once in a while, they start to get bitchy.
Some of them got kids of their own. They'll call you grandpa.
Right. I ain't that old motherfucker. Give me that Grecian. Yeah, I grew up in Central Illinois, Justin. And damn, you live in Danville, brother. I feel sorry for you, man.
Illinois or Virginia?
No, I lived in Illinois. I grew up in Illinois, Central Illinois. East Central Illinois.
Oh, Danville, Illinois. Illinois.
Danville's right on the Indiana border. You know, Lou Mervis owns that fucking town.
I never heard of Danville, Illinois.
Dick and Jerry Van Dyke are from Danville, Illinois.
Really?
Yep.
They're dead, ain't they?
Yep.
What do you say? That's the only reason I do it. Do what? What? Yeah, well, that's what Joy was taking me back to is now they're giving, they just gave the injured copyright holder, they gave him the chance to either strike you or monetize your channel. And if they wanted to strike you, they had to give you the opportunity to strike back, which would put them on YouTube's turf in New York instead of the county that they reside in. And that's why they changed a lot of the shit that they did, I think. They were trying to give them plausible deniability of that they were not censoring, that it was the advertiser's choice as to whether you were blocked or not.
Oh, yeah, because the advertiser gave into the algorithm.
Well, the advertiser signed a damn agreement just like I did when I signed up for an account. Same damn thing. Right. How about Bitwords? They're going to replace AdWords one day, be called Bitwords because you don't want to be able to use your Bitcoin, make your phone ring. I'm sorry.
They got like a Burger King coin and a fucking McDonald's coin and a KFC coin, and so I guess you're gonna have to buy all that shit in order to buy their fucking generic, crappy MSG food.
Pretty soon they'll have Bitcoin cards at the store, like the gift cards, the Bitcoin gift cards that they don't
Have you sat and watched any of these channels on YouTube that are all this crypto crap? These guys are like fucking religious zealots when it comes to the shit, dude. Some of the comments in chat are, what's Bitcoin going to do next? What's Litecoin going to do next week? What's Ethereum going to do next week? They're going to rise and fall.
It's going to be $1 million a coin.
Yeah, right. I'm a millionaire. Go try to cash that shit out, brother, and let me know how much of that million you get.
They can cash it out on shit. They can't cash it out on cash.
Other coin.
Well, there's a lot of rich folks out there be more than happy to get into it, but they don't want to give up no cash. But they give up an old boat that they got hanging out in a marina that they've been paying $300 a month for damn space on and shit.
Right.
Like
Well,
that.
that's all I'm saying. You know, if you want to get in on the crypto shit, get in and get out. You know, get in and hit one of these quick bubbles. Make your cash to pay off
gotta get.
shit.
It's not going to be Bitcoin. It's not going to be Litecoin. It's going to be something else. But I think it's just another way to suck more money out of the small guy's pocket. Honestly, that's
Absolutely.
what I believe it is.
If you look, like 90% of the people that are in this crypto shit are the guys that used to day trade on Wall Street.
Yeah, and the top 1% owns 90% of the wealth again in Bitcoin.
Right. Well, in 2017, man, in 2017. 82% of the wealth that was made by all the countries on the planet went to the top 5%.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was the largest transfer of wealth in the history of this nation.
We've been watching it since 2008.
And it happened through the upper bubble on the real estate market, and that's where it went. That's how it went. That's how it all went down.
It started out in Silicon Valley, but because a lot of those guys built these houses and they were way over fucking priced. Go look in Florida. Go look at the housing market in Florida.
No, it was a design scam against the Fed. It was a scam.
Absolutely.
But it was a scam for the Fed because now the Fed is the largest property owner in the United States. They manipulate. They buy houses that pop up on the market, so
and start tying all those mortgages into them and shit.
Yeah, I mean it's a transfer of wealth in that they suck people in through a promise of prosperity through a house price that just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And now I got all this equity sitting in my house. Now I can trade houses, and I can trade up, and I can get money in my pocket. And they played that game. It was like that Bitcoin game. When is the market going to pop? When is the market going to pop? And it's like, well, if you got to ask.
Right. Yeah, Fed coin. I saw that one today too, SS. The Fed coin. I think that's the way it's going to go. You know, these cryptocurrencies are just too volatile, and the banks are going to have to take control of things at one time or another. And
no, they'll let them get them totally out of control. They'll let them get totally out of control just so they can shut the shit down.
Unless you go back to barter or just deal in gold and silver, you're going to be tied up in their fucking economy anyway, right? That's
so they're going to butt into your economy. If you create your own economy, they're going to butt their ass into it. That's what I'm saying. So as soon as they saw,
man, I've been living on my own and doing my own thing for a long time, brother. And I don't, you know, they're not even. I mean, they might be wise, but they ain't said poo. So, fuck it. You know, I mean, you just got to be willing to make the leap, man. Stop feeding on their fucking. You know, educate yourself as to what kind of authority they actually have, and let them know that you know what kind of authority they actually have, and they leave you the fuck alone. Because there's plenty of sheep out there for them to pick on, dude. There's plenty.
They make a pretty good living at picking on them, though.
They only got the authority you allow them to have, man. It all comes down to that. They only got the authority you allow them to have. And I wear the full armor of God, and no instrument forged against me will ever prosper because I'm a child of God. You know, their evil can't touch me. I'm so high above them, they can't even see me. Hiding in plain sight, man. It's easy to do. It really is easy to do, people. All you got to do is educate yourself on some laws that they have in place that you can utilize to your benefit, and bing, bang, boom.
Well, looky there. Richard Clark finally showed up, the damn internet terrorist. He's probably been out trolling around like a fucking cat that's still got his nuts hanging between his legs.
We're not fighting, Richard. If you can't, realize what a
actually, Richard knows tonight is his night. I got somebody in here that's not scared of you, Richard. He will ban you, Richard. All I have to do is take your wrench.
He's got a wrench, man. If he's got a wrench, he's one of your.
I will de-wrench his ass. I'm scared to ban him because he's a terrorist.
Tourists.
He's a tourist.
Tourists. You're either with us or you're with the tourists.
The tourist. There is no tourism.
The terrorists, no, Joy. Terrorists are very, very real. They call themselves congressmen and senators and the administration and state officials. The original definition of government was, what is it? Control of the people by force or something like that. Terrorism was another definition of it.
No, that is a definition of
the definition of terrorism was government by force.
Right.
That's what it was. Government by force.
Kind of funny. They seem a bit out of control.
Who's that? Oh, man, he told you to kiss his hairy ass, dude.
Oh, my God, Richard Clark, you are just testing me. Oh, my God. New song for Jeff to get...
Should have just said, okay, man, wash it first.
Oh, my God. What are y'all worried about internet retards for? Oh, my God. Richard, would you please talk to my wife? All right, you ready for a break?
What? Who's Brian? Who's Brian, and why will Tracy leave if Brian comes on the panel?
Why would... I don't know what she's saying that for. He wouldn't come on here. And I don't know who he is.
Oh.
He's just another YouTube troll. Just somebody else. It's like there'll be one guy, man, he'll put up 20 hit job videos on me in a row. He's just out of nowhere. And it's like, what in the fuck's wrong with you? And then
10 days later,
they do it. It's like they pop up. I mean, it's like it's a never-ending fucking stream of them, Jim. It's like, goddamn, dude, I don't even understand. It's like have you ever seen the videos of people tipping over them little dominoes, man, where they'll have like 6 miles of dominoes? That's what it seems like I've been dealing with, man. It's like one after another, after another, after another, after another. And I can't figure it. I used to think it was just because people didn't like me, and then I was thinking, man, well, nobody could be that fucking stupid, man. It's a goddamn operation all by itself.
You know, I've come to the conclusion a long time ago that I'll never hate my enemies because I'm the one that made them. You know, so I keep them close to me. I keep my enemies close to me. I watch them. I friend them on Facebook if they'll let me. You know, I listen to their bullshit on their YouTube videos, whatever, blah blah blah. But I don't have many. You know what I mean? Over the years, they've thinned themselves out because the ones that used to call me crazy realized that I wasn't crazy all those years, and but they don't want to admit that they were wrong. You know what I mean?
Hell, they don't even know me. They don't even know me. Dude,
Yeah.
It's insane. I don't even understand. I don't get it.
That was a military thing, man. People that know me. People that don't can blow me.
I mean, it's not that it hurts my feelings or anything. It's just like I do this. I don't do this for fucking money. I do this to hang out with my fucking friends and shit. I don't do this to man, I'm not interested in whatever the fuck anybody thinks I might be interested in.
That's the reason that I don't monetize my channel too. The people that follow me, that listen to my shit now, everybody that's subscribed to me on Facebook or on the YouTubes here, well, the majority of them, like 60 something of them, they followed me over from my radio days. You know, when I was doing online radio. So. You know, when I got kicked off the first network, they followed me over to the second network. And when I got kicked off the second network, they followed me over to the third network. And then when I quit the third network, they stood by and waited for me to get back on, you know, for a long time because I was taking care of my mom for years. And about a year and a half of that, I wasn't doing radio. I was solely taking care of her and working on this house, you know, because I just got the property and was doing everything to get it up to speed. So I got some loyal ones, and I got a bunch of new ones now for whatever reason in the last year or so that I've been on YouTube doing everything on YouTube live. Mm-hmm. It's gone from like 68 to 200 and something now. So I don't know. I only got probably 30 people that sit in the chat and listen to my shit all the time when I'm live, but evidently some other people swing by and catch it later.
It's always kind of been like that for me. If I got 500 people or 300 people that are subbing to me, I got one account. I got a lot of subs, but I got the same viewers all the time forever, and they all support me. They all support me every which way they can. They support me. Some of them some of them support me on Patreon. Some of them. Not that I'm making fucking just huge dollars or anything like that. That people just because it's like, hey, you're the fucking tip of my sword. You talking what I want you to talk, and I like the way you bitch. So that's, a lot of times people, they don't have a voice. They wherever they work or whatever, they could work somewhere that, they ain't allowed to say nothing and nobody ever talks about anything, and and they might live alone or whatever. You never know why. Some people fucking listen to me, like Richard Clark fucking listens to me just so he can go to sleep,
right?
And I listen to people like that. There's a lot of people I listen to so I can sit back in my chair and close my eyes and just listen to them fucking bitch. And that's the way I look at it. Man, I like the way you bitch. So I know I'm not going to change anything. I don't have millions of people listening to me, and even if they were, I probably wouldn't be able to handle that either. This is about as tough as I want it to get.
There's going to be very few people that find the truth that's going to save their soul. It tells you that right in the Bible. So I got to the point where I quit trying to wake people up. When I reached a plateau of people, of new listeners, when I reached a plateau of new listeners and it started fading, that's when I knew that I just, I got tired of trying to reach out and wake people up. I just, if they want to ask me questions, I'll answer their questions. If they start rolling their fucking eyes, I'll be like, it was nice talking to you, man. See you. If you don't have the ears to hear or the eyes to see what truth is laying in front of you, then I got no time for you. I know that's not very Christian, but that's just at the point I'm at, man.
That's kind of Islamic, if you want to ask my opinion. What's up with that?
I'm just tired, man. I'm tired. I'm 50 years old. I've been out here fighting my good fight for over 10 years, trying to wake people up. And, 8 years of it, almost 8 years of it on radio and stuff. But, I'm just tired, dude. I'm tired. I had a long, hard life. And I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at right now, in the position that I'm in right now. So I'm just going to kick back and enjoy it.
I know. Yeah, and I wish I could be like that. I wish I could be comfortable. But so many of my friends and acquaintances and family, they just getting worse and worse and worse.
But that's the point I'm trying to make, dude, is that there's some people that just are not going to get it. And there's very few.
I mean, even people that seem like they get it, I mean, it's things have gotten bad out there, man. Things have gotten really bad. There's a lot of people hurting out there. They're hurting bad.
Yeah.
And it's not about fucking just go get a job. There ain't no jobs to fucking get. There ain't no goddamn economy going right now.
It's been that way for a hot minute, dude.
It's been that way forever. And it's, that's what you got to fix first. If you can't fix it. And the thing is, it's an impossible fix. When somebody says, well, you're going to fix, that's an impossible fix because it can't be done.
Vote them out?
It's got to be done gradually over an extended period of time, or it's got to be kept in place and running cool for an extended period of time. You can't have drastic swings and stuff like that when you're talking about your economy. The economy of your nation. You can't let it bend to the wind and whims and speculation and stuff like that. That's not what you can do. That's what you can do with your extra money. That's what you can do. With a nation, you have to always push peace and prosperity, because if you can push peace, you can have prosperity. All peaceful nations all prosper. And
I do have to say something else, though, man.
What?
I do have to say something else.
What?
The economy in this country has been under attack for decades, right? I mean, we've been pushing all of our shit overseas as far as production goes for decades. There's no, you know, there's no industry left in this country unless you're working for Raytheon or, you know, another weapons manufacturer or something like that. That's it. Or unless you're a merc, right? I mean, you can be a merc probably, but unless you're service industry oriented, which is working on cars, working at hotels, making beds, cooking food, blah 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 blah. That's all the U.S. is now. It's service oriented. And we have been, as a collective, I'm not speaking to anybody individually in the room, so don't get your panties on wad or anything. As a collective, the people in the United States have been dumbed down to the point where they cannot get a good job because they don't have the mental capacity to attain that job. They just can't do it. They're not mentally capable. They're burger flipping motherfuckers. You know, I'm just being honest. If you go out in public, in major cities, the amount of stupidity that drips off people in public is just palpable, man. I mean, you know,
You know, that reminds me. Let's watch this here. That actually reminds me of this.
There for a second.
We love the way you bitch, but I won't play something to make you bitch even worse, man. Hold on, I'm fixing to make you mad. See, need some real bitching.
It's not that there's no network out there to get the good jobs, Joy. There are no good jobs in this country. It is all service-oriented. If you want to be a bartender, this is where you can be a bartender, right? If you want to work in a hotel, this is where you can work in a hotel. If you want to be a business executive, you better head to China or Mexico or so, because they got those jobs locked up here, man. Those fucking people aren't going anywhere. It's nepotism. Everything in this country that pays worth a shit is kept in the club, and you are not in the club.
I'm in the club. Damn it, I'm in the club. They invited me yesterday. They said, Jeff, we want you in this club, and I said, I'm coming.
I'm expecting that check in the mail.
I don't know if you can hear this.
But when that check gets here, I expect it won't bounce since you're now in the club.
All right, this is a delusional woman's march demonstrations, and what we're trying to ascertain in this video is their
man.
So what?
Go ahead. The pussy hats. They're all running around in their pussy hats.
Oh yeah. What we're trying to assess is what is their message, right? So what is their message? So, let's find out. Let's see. Can everybody hear that or no? No. Yes.
I can't. I cannot.
All right, hold on. That ain't working then.
It's all right. I mean, it's all right so long as they can.
I don't think they can either.
I'll mute up. I can't. I cannot.
All right, hold on.
It's all right. I mean, it's all right so long as they can.
They can't hear shit. Ah, well, hold on a minute. Hold on. Let's see. What do I need to do here? Let me back up. I can't hear this fucking web page here, man, on my own computer. What in the hell? I guess it's because we're on Skype, I guess. I guess.
What's the dealio, Emilio?
I can't.
Are you going through the soundboard and all that shit?
Yes.
Do you? You actually have a studio hooked up? Well, you ought to be able to pipe everything to
well, it normally does. It's just not right now for what I've been. I always do it. I don't. I'm just thinking somehow Skype's got it fucked up or something, or I am not looking at something correctly. Hold on, I'm still looking. I got a dumb look on my face, but I'm still looking. Dumb look is still on my face. Let's see.
Joseph had it right in the room, man. So if you can't find a job that suits your fancy, go make one.
That's my attitude. Is you know, I can't. But there are, man. That's the thing. Is there's a lot of people who they enjoy just working. I mean, they enjoy working a job like I enjoy working for myself. I've worked for myself for 30 years, 32 or 33 years. I've been working for myself, and I can't imagine working for somebody. I would piss somebody to fuck off. I'll tell you that right now. And not from being lazy or anything like that, just from being smarter. I walk into
just
a regular business, man, and I'd be on top of it in no time and be wondering what the hell is wrong with you people.
Yeah, that's another thing, man. You got to have an extensive skill set and think that you can go out and be your own boss, because there's always going to be a dog out there in the fight with you, right? You're always going to be fighting against somebody, whether it's how much you charge per hour for your services or whatever the fuck it is, man. But so you have to have an extensive skill set so that you can venture off into other avenues. And, you know, if you can't make it in this area, then go do something else in this area. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but don't ever give up, man. Don't ever fucking quit fighting. Don't ever quit fighting.
And I think if I was a trillionaire or something like that, I would probably die quickly. And I say that because I believe, for me, life is really a struggle. I don't feel alive unless I'm struggling.
If I was a trillionaire, all of my friends would be billionaires, because
sure, you'd want to take care of everybody, but
right. Well, no, I mean, but it'd be select people. There would be select people that would get the hand up for me, because you got to deserve it, man. You can't just go through life thinking that everybody owes you something, because I don't owe you a motherfucking thing. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't owe you a motherfucking thing. I had to work my ass off for everything I got, and I paid for it all cash money. That's the way you know what I mean? So if you're going to walk through life with your fucking hand out going, oh, I've had a bad life, and you know, my dog used to pee on me when I was playing in the sandbox, and, you know, fuck off, dude. Everybody's got shit in their closet. Get over it. Get over yourself. Get out there and make something of yourself.
All right, I want to try to play it now in here instead of over YouTube. Let's see what happens. Can you hear that?
Hey guys, it's Fleckus. This week we're at the Women's March. Who am I here with?
All right, I'm on your watch page.
Tom, what brings you here today?
Protest Trump.
Very cool. And what are you protesting Trump for?
At
the Women's March.
Yeah.
Who am I here with?
Conservatism.
Basically,
Yeah.
everything.
On the page it's playing.
Yeah, mute yourself.
All right.
What do you disagree with Trump so far?
Well, I worked for a tribe for a lot of time, so about 5 years, so a lot of negativity towards the tribes. I'm not down with that. And also, you know, just the bullshit.
What is the number one reason that everyone's here? Who am I here with?
Margaret.
Nat. Well, what brings you here today?
Everything.
All right, very cool. Favorite shirt of the day so far. What does it say?
Single taken or dismantling heteronormativity. I can't see the rest.
I do see a lot of great people here who do feel empowered, but you don't have to be empowered by hating other people, by hating people that don't agree with you politically, by hating the president. To me, that's not true empowerment. That's weakness in disguise of empowerment.
I got ahead of people because of my position as a white male. I think that the people that need to stand up are people that have the power to say something, like myself. And I think that's what's going to help change things.
So many creative people, tens of thousands of amazing signs. Imagine if we took that creative energy and that energy to create things, and we like built an ark or built a spaceship. We could probably be on Mars by now if we took this energy and put it towards something very productive.
What does your sign say?
It says kill Donald Trump, and then it says kill Mike Pence, and then it says it's guillotine time, bitches.
I probably wouldn't want to go on a ship built by the people here if the plan was to head to Mars, but I do know what you mean. What does it mean?
I think that we should kill Donald Trump, and then we should also kill Mike Pence, because I wouldn't want him in office either.
What are some of the racist things he's done that makes you concerned about him being the president?
I mean, the fact that he's like repealed all these sort of stuff that's supposed to protect immigrants in this country. It's like so hypocritical too, I mean,
we need any immigration reform though.
I don't want to speak on that.
When it comes to the two candidates, obviously one was very establishment, one was an outsider. Do you think the outsider candidate might be something that we need? It might be the change the government needs?
No, I'm not against an outsider per se. But I don't think that because you're an outsider, therefore you're qualified.
What do you think makes Trump very unqualified?
Well, he's never been president.
But this is the president of the United States. This is someone who needs to think like a diplomat, not an angry white man.
I'm not here to support like somebody's like capitalist, like trying to make money off of the struggles of women and like women of color and like people of color in this country. Like I'm actually upset. Like I'm like.
What is your ideal political or social structure?
Communist utopia, but I mean that's pretty hard to do.
When it comes to Trump in his first year, what do you think about what he's done so far?
He hasn't done anything, in my opinion.
As a business owner, the tax cut really just does enough to, honestly, it doesn't matter.
The economy is kind of irrelevant. I mean, the stock market was increasing before he came in. There's some, yes, it was.
The graphs are going like this.
No, it wasn't. I've got my full pension invested.
And it's probably made, what, 30% this year, I'm sure.
It's been increasing for the last 5 years. But
ever faster than it has recently?
The most recent increases are completely untrustworthy.
Everyone's been very kind, but I have to be honest, this is not a women's march. It is a pro-Democrat, pro-Obama, pro-Kamala Harris, pro-Cory Booker, pro-Obama, strongly anti-Trump, Planned Parenthood support group rally march. It's just not a women's march because it's only if you watch CNN and MSNBC and believe the Democrats, it's a march for women and men who do that.
But get women the same equal pay. Come on, that's a no-brainer.
I think the biggest thing that rings to me and a lot of these women out here, especially the ones that are interested in the economy, is the fact that women are paid drastically less by the dollar than men are. And I mean, that's basically out there by statistics.
We do not make far less than men. The majority of women, a lot of them, quite frankly, stay home. You know, they take on the hardest job there is, and that's being an at-home wife and mother. You know, there's different women who do different work for different things. So the whole idea that we're somehow at a disadvantage to men is ridiculous.
But when it comes to the wage gap, 77 cents on the dollar comes from median income for men versus median income for women. Doesn't account for the type of job, doesn't account for part-time or full-time, doesn't account for hours worked, doesn't account for degrees, doesn't account for a lot of different things that actually do play factors. If an employer wanted to save money, wouldn't they just hire women and pay them at a lower rate?
That's f***ed. Everyone should get paid the same shit. If you're doing the same job, you should get the same pay. It doesn't matter.
Have you seen any of the counters that say the pay wage gap is kind of a myth?
Well, if there's anything the difference between pay wage, look at the pay between CEOs and the people that are doing all the f***ing work.
I mean, that's true, but the CEOs are also taking on the risk and running the company, and you're getting paid whether the company makes money or not, right?
I've been an archaeologist for a tribe, and, you know, the tribal voice needs to be heard as well.
What are some things that are happening with the tribes that you want to share?
I don't think that they're being treated equally. They're being, you know, let down, and they were the first people here, being a native myself, you know.
What are some of the ways they're being let down, or like what we can do to help them? What do you think of this comment?
He's got to go. That's all. It's just he doesn't reflect us. He doesn't reflect Los Angeles.
We should definitely try to be kinder to each other, but actions definitely matter more than words.
Absolutely. Some would say words are just words until action actually starts, because actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions, because sometimes it's the right thing to do.
Words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do.
John, Overpass, February 4th.
I'm supposed to interview you.
They're not touching the mic.
The Democratic Party, liberal women, and this type of women's march, you don't own women. You don't own people of color. You don't own black people or Latinos or Asian people. You don't have a monopoly on people's race, and you certainly don't have a monopoly on people's genders. As long as everyone understands that and understands that you can be a woman, you can be an activist, you can be a good person of any race, religion, and gender, and not support all of these policies that they're kind of force-feeding people.
He's not supporting women-friendly legislation.
What are some of the things you're worried he would take away?
Well, health care, reproductive rights for one, the right to abortion. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that's something that the government funds should be going to, a place that does do abortions, Planned Parenthood?
Planned Parenthood doesn't just do abortions. That's
the number one moneymaker, though.
No,
it is.
Everyone I know that I've talked to, use their services, none of them had an abortion.
that's like such a small group of people to make a whole judgment on. I can give you the numbers. They do. Planned Parenthood does a third of the country's abortions. They make the most money that they make from abortions. And that 3% number, you're lying. I'm about to correct you. That 3% number counts every interaction with the medical person as a service. So if you go in there and get an STD test or go in there and get an abortion, it's counted as the same thing. That's why that number is misleading.
And of course, the anti-abortion side would have you believe that it's murder of babies, which is not true.
I'm a mother, and if that's your body and your baby, and you have to do what's right, it's like
all the way up to the third trimester, like the week before it's born.
That's not my choice. That's not my choice. It's the woman's choice.
This is an iconic image now. It's the woman in the American flag hijab, correct? Is this alluding to something that's going on in Iran, the protests in Iran? Is that part of the same thing?
No, it's the comments that the current president has made about Muslims.
You notice all these movements lead right back to the Democratic Party. It's like, we care about race, gender, and we own you, and vote Democrat. It's like, what? This all happened so fast. I love the women. Next thing you know, I'm in the booth voting for Cory Booker, even though he sold out to the pharmacy industries and squandered $100 million that were supposed to go to Newark schools. What happened to that, Mr. Booker?
Mr. Booker, do you think that using the hijab in an image like this would almost incite a bad feeling within the Muslim community and Muslim women who are oppressed by the hijab?
So obviously I'm not Muslim, so I feel like I can't speak for Muslim women, but I did take a Middle Eastern Studies class this past semester, and one of the things I learned is that the hijab really got a negative image from white colonists.
Another Fleck is in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Please like.
I think we're back. Well, words speak louder than actions, because when actions speak louder than words, I think we're back. It's because words speak louder than actions.
The little skinny guy wearing his wife's glasses with the fake mustache. He was just he was out there instigating shit. I bet he was going to be throwing bottles and stuff later on. He was a paid instigator, you could tell. I love when they say, "Can you explain to the people why you're out here protesting today?" And they're like, fuck Trump, man. Just fuck Trump, man.
You're a racist.
All right, thanks. Appreciate you, you mental midget. I was told there was going to be cookies and milk.
Yeah, there was supposed to be free hot dogs and Facebook Wi-Fi.
Right. Where the fuck is the taquito truck, man? I'm fucking starving over here.
You know how they're going to empty out the neighborhoods and get them into the FEMA camps?
Most of the FEMA camps are already established, man. They call them Chicago and Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, New York City.
You know how they're gonna get rid of the mindless masses.
Go ahead.
They won't have to. Everybody's worried about like cattle cars and trains and Walmarts and stuff. The only
put explosive devices in all their fidget spinners.
The only thing they got to do is wait till everybody gets a little hungry and drive a truck through a neighborhood. It says stay within 50 feet of this truck for free Wi-Fi by Facebook and free hot dogs.
Yeah, and they'll run themselves to death down the street trying to keep up with it. like a bunch of sheep or cattle.
Turn the internet off and just say free Wi-Fi. Stay within 150 feet. You drive that truck anywhere.
Right off a fucking cliff. Watch that first step. Oh, he didn't watch the first step. I'm way too loud?
Oh, wait a minute. He's too loud and I'm too soft, they say. All right, let's turn him down
I'm sorry.
a bit.
I don't have I'm not pegging on my board.
All right, how's that? Is that better?
I'll try to keep my big mouth shut.
Hold on, let's see.
I I'm sorry. I don't have my. I mean, I'm not pegging on my board. Wow, you do have me extremely loud.
Hold on, let me check my gain on that. Ow. Oh, I do got the gain way up on that shit. Sorry about that. All right, we should be good now. Say something.
Check two. Check two. I'm sorry. That was probably peeking out their fucking speakers.
It was. All right, yeah, we're good now. Well, you know, this isn't a professional operation around here, and
we
doesn't matter how many professionals we get on here. It's still not going to be professional.
We're flying by the seat of our pants, and they have holes in them.
And we're generally safe to work around.
Just don't be underneath us on a ladder. Man, I did a roofing job one time several years ago in my kilt, and yeah, I got a lot of comments after that job was done.
You did a job in a kilt?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Middle of the summer.
Was it a real kilt, or did you like go buy like a skirt for a Catholic schoolgirl for a real
it's
fat
a
one?
real kilt, man. You see me picture?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. What picture?
You seen me picture? You seen me live on fucking YouTube, man. I'm Scott to the bone.
Scott to the bone.
I'm not Irish. That's for fucking sure.
You sounded very Irish to me. For a split second.
No. I mean, I'm not from Scotland, but my blood is. I'm over 6 foot tall and red. I'm Scott.
Irish or Scott? Yeah, I'm Scottish and Irish.
There's very few Irish that make it over 6 feet tall. Very, very few. And I'm thick. You know, I'm built like a Scot. I'm not built like an Irishman. Irishmen are usually pretty skinny and smaller stature. 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah,
and I've got a dick dick.
Wow. That's some great information.
You didn't hear that right.
Damn, all these YouTube notifications coming in. I fucking can't even see what I'm supposed to be clicking on through all the notifications popped up. All right. What y'all say in chat now? They're still, oh man, are we lagging that bad? They're still talking about the video.
Yeah, well, the Jesuit oath proves they all need to be executed. That says yes, but they've executed more than we'll ever know. Rest in peace, babies from their mother's wombs. Oh, rip babies from their mother's wombs. Yeah, that's true, Richard. They've done that.
Well, I don't know about the Jesuit oath. I actually duplicated the Jesuit oath for my channel oath. So, you know, all the people that's out there in chat, they got to do the same oath to me.
Just Google the name Maria Abramovic.
Yes.
Check that chick, man, because she's the epitome of extra creepy.
You got the I got the baby cake. You want to see it?
Oh, no.
Have you seen it?
Oh, no, I don't know. Actually, don't. You know, when those videos come up in my feed and shit, I just scroll right by them.
Goddamn thing looks fucking real. It's a cake. Looks like a baby laying face down in his crib, and she goes to hacking it up with a fucking big old cake knife.
Yep.
And it's like a red velvet cake on the inside. Dude, these people are fucking insane.
That's the stuff they do out in public when the cameras are rolling.
Yeah.
You know, when it's in private, you know that's a real fucking baby that they're doing ritual with.
Yeah,
so
I think I think that they show up in the back room at the local Planned Parenthood every day, and they got like these lunch tray looking things, and
yeah, baby smoothies and you know, they've been doing it for decades too. That's how they got their power. That's how they keep their power, because they worship Satan. You know, they worship Satan, and Satan's in charge of this earth right now. That's why when everybody says, "I'm living in hell," you sure as fuck are.
Well, I ain't going to give them that excuse. I'm not going to let them blame their shit on some mysterious thing that's in the dirt or the clouds or all around. No. I don't give you that out. Just like I'm not going to give the Clintons, oh, they just got disappeared somewhere. No.
It's not an out, man. It's a choice they made.
Well, that's still, it's giving them an out. It's giving them an out.
No, I don't see.
Everybody's responsible for it. If you never heard of the Bible or anything else like that, you're still responsible.
It's a choice that they made. Right. You're responsible for everything that you do, man.
That's what I'm saying. If they never heard of a Bible, they still responsible. they are responsible.
I don't give a shit if you know about God or if you don't know about God, or if you know about Satan or if you don't know about Satan. Excuse me. Everybody that's born onto this plane of existence knows right from wrong when you get to a certain age. When when you're a little kid, maybe not, but once you get to a certain age, you know right from wrong. If you're a fucking adult and you've made it through life this far, you know right from wrong. And they know that they made a choice to work for evil. Whether they know it's Satan or not, whether they know, whatever. Whether they think they're praying to the actual Moloch or whatever the fuck they think, they know they've
no,
made
man,
that.
Most of these people, these is good church going pew potatoes, man. These are people that work for the state, work for the tax department, work for the IRS, work for the flying fucking chemtrail. And boy, they're not worshiping some 5-pointed pentagram on their kitchen floor with. No, most of them, the 99% of them, are just what you would call regular old folks. That they're veterans, they're all kinds of people. They're doctors, they're lawyers, but I just now showed a video of them. They're clueless. They're absolutely insane. They don't have any idea what they're doing.
Brainwashed masses, dude. Those are the brainwashed masses that are
incapable. And in that secret devil society thing, it's still. Just like NASA, you got the brainwashed masses that work for NASA, and then you got the top percentage that might know what's going on, that have a clue, that ask questions, or they know. It's mindless. Doesn't matter where you go.
Any kind of questions, they usually don't work for the cabal very much longer. You know what I mean? They wind up like Senator Stevens or who. You know what I mean? Once you start asking too many questions, they tend to stick a bullet in the back of your head, or, find kitty porn on your computer and bury you under a fucking pen, or
taxes,
you know what I mean?
Taxes, they like taxes.
Right. Some way they'll get rid of you. Some way. You don't ask too many questions. Either drink the baby blood or don't drink the baby blood. It's your choice.
It's just your choice. All you got to do is take that drink, take that sip. All right, I got to go use the bathroom. You got the mic.
Oh, I was just getting ready to tell you. About 5 minutes, dude. I got about 5 minutes left, and I got to go because I got to run to Missouri tomorrow and run a route. So.
All right. Well, why don't you talk for 5 minutes, and I'll go use the bathroom.
Okay.
You say bye to everybody or whatever.
Yeah, I can do that. Bye, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. You guys, if you're listening to Jeff's show, I don't have to reiterate all that crap. You guys know that if you believe in Satan, if you believe they're Satan worshipers or not, that's up to you. But you just know that they're evil fucking people. They're evil people. And they've got no intention on letting anybody that's not in their little club get ahead in any way whatsoever. So it's a choice you got to make. I've been telling people since I got on the radio, ignore the government because they ignore you. And that's the truth. Everybody that voted for Obama, all the hope and change and all the bullshit that he was talking about while he was trying to get elected, blah, blah, blah. Nothing came of it, did it? No. We went 10 trillion plus farther into the hole with that man behind the wheel of this country. And it's not going to change with Trump. It's part of the cabal, just like the other motherfuckers are all part of the cabal. You don't get to be in that position of life without being a part of the club, The cat's a billionaire. Whether or not he filed bankruptcy in the past or not and is beholden to the banks because of that, he's still got to that position for a reason. You know what I mean? He's an evil motherfucker, just like the rest of them. And he might be a little rogue because they haven't had a chance to vet him yet, But that's why he was on the Lolita Express, right? He might not have been out there kneeling at the feet of Moloch out in Bohemian Grove, or he might not have been to Bilderberg or anything like that, but they got dirt on him. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let him take the office. I mean, it's just that simple. Welcome back, Jeff. Put the bong down, man. You got a radio show to do. Oh. All right, dude. I'm out. Some good shit, isn't it? Oh. That happens to me all the time too, dude. I think that's from the chemtrails. Or it's because we smoke too much. I really need to stop smoking, man. I've been smoking for shit. I bet I've been smoking a pack a day since I was 13 years old, probably. And yeah, time to give the old lungs a break. Except for the time I was in the military, active duty. I didn't smoke then because they didn't let us. But time to give the old lungs a break.
Yep. Well, man,
all right.
I enjoyed having you on.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, man. You know, it's you're welcome to come on my program too, dude. I know you do your live shit every night, so we're probably gonna have conflicting schedules. But you know, if you ever want to,
just let me know. Just let me know, and I'll jump on with you. I'll stop whatever I'm doing here. They'll follow me.
Cool.
Then they'll screw up your chat room. Rich Clark show up, fucking everybody leave.
No, be all right. We'll just ban him.
Ooh.
All right, everybody out there listening to me, I appreciate you all for listening to me. Yak, yak, yak. Boiler Room Radio, Wednesdays and Saturdays, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Usually go 2 hours. So, if you want to pencil that into your schedule, man.
You got 5 guys. Y'all only go 2 hours?
Yeah, that's all I want to do.
Well, are they Chinese guys or something? That sounds lazy.
No. That's all I want to do. You know, 2 hours. I can talk about everything I want to talk about in 2 hours. I don't need to just rattle on and on and on and on and on. I got stuff I got to do, man. I got a life to live. My life doesn't involve YouTube. You know, that's why my channel's not monetized. If I was monetized and had 5,000 or 6,000 people listening to me, then I might put a little effort into it. But you know,
well,
just not going to happen, man.
I don't know. I don't watch TV and shit anymore. These are the only friends I got.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of friends around here, but I do have some. But even just sitting here, you know, I like watching videos for a little while, but then I want to go outside, dude. That's why I bought 20 acres of fucking woods, dude. I want to go hang outside and be with my dogs and, you know, play with my trucks and build shit, and you know what I mean? That's my deal. I don't like sitting on the fucking computer all the time. My ass gets wide when I do that. So I don't do that.
I hear you. I try not to. I work a lot.
Yeah, and that's why I only do 2 shows a week, you know. And I used to not do that. In the summertime, it goes down to 1. Wednesdays is it. I don't do Saturday nights at all because it's still daylight. Fuck that. I'm out. You know, that's what I love about the summers around here, dude. The lake gets up to about 90 degrees, and then you go in the midnight dips in the fucking lake, and the lake's like bath water, and the stars are fucking forever out in the sky. Oh, yeah. You need to come over here for a while this summer and check it out.
There's probably snakes in the lake.
Fuck no.
There's probably snapping turtles and snakes in the lake.
Oh, are you a pussy, dude?
No, but I don't like snakes.
Oh,
or snapping turtles.
I don't like spiders and snakes.
No, spiders either. No, I definitely don't like spiders. I can tell you that.
You puss.
I am not the outdoorsy man. I don't, you know, if I gotta be out there, like if I'm working or something.
You live in North Carolina. You're not an outdoorsman?
Well, yeah, if it's fun. I don't like fishing though and shit like that.
What? Oh my God, dude. There's something wrong with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dudes around here. They love fishing, dude. I hate fucking fishing. I can't stand fishing. My whole family loves fishing. I can't stand fishing. I hate hunting. My whole family loves hunting. I hate fucking hunting.
doesn't matter. Are you?
No, I mean not that I would have a problem killing a fucking deer if I was hungry and I was going to eat them. No, I wouldn't have a problem with that at all, dude. I'd drop them. But as far as just killing,
if you ain't skilled in doing it, dude, you'll never ever take a deer. If you think you're just gonna one day,
right? Well, in the case that I was so goddamn hungry that like, and there's like one deer and one shot chance, yeah, I'm gonna give the rifle to the dude that I know that shoots all the fucking time. I ain't got a problem with that either, because I know we still gonna be able to eat. But I don't have fun going out there and killing anything, and it stems from one thing I did in my life, which was horrible. I beat a frog to death with a hammer on a stump when I was about 7 years old.
Oh.
And it stuck with me.
Right.
And I felt it was bad when I did it, but I didn't realize even what I was doing when I did it. I was just like,
that's not like eating, that's not like feeding yourself, dude.
I know, that's what I'm saying. If it was if it was me having to fish or kill to eat, no, I ain't got a problem with that. No problem whatsoever.
I eat everything I kill. So it's not like I'm just out there whacking fucking animals to hang shit on my wall.
Oh, I know, yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Some of the people I know fucking hunt like that.
Yeah. See, but I'm just about being out in nature, dude.
Yeah.
If
you want to go out and ride 4-wheelers all day long or dirt bikes all day long, I'll burn all the gas you want to burn. I love burning gas.
I like my 4-wheeler, yep, and I like my fucking jet ski and yep.
I like fun. That's shit like that is fun to me. I'm just not the normal. I love to go hunting and fishing. I don't. I love eating fish, but I hate fishing.
Dude, I don't give a shit if I catch a fish all day long just to be out on the boat, fucking off with my friends and having a good time. That's what I'm about, man. It doesn't matter if I catch a fish or not. Now, if I'm hungry, then I might be a little salty.
Everybody I know is like that. That's what they love to do.
Yeah.
Now, I spent a long time. See, I kind of got burned out on boats. I spent a lot of time on boats, and then I even had a job for a bunch of years where I owned about 4 boats, trying to get a bunch of crews over to Bald Head Island. Got sick of fucking boats. Goddamn, I can't tell you how sick. I could never get on another fucking boat again as long as I live, and I'd be perfectly happy with it. Goddamn boats.
I love my boat. My pontoon. It's just
yeah, that'd
like,
be cool.
Like
now, I wouldn't mind having a pontoon boat and be near the lake or on the lake. Yes.
Man.
Yes.
And we're only
yeah, it's not the same thing.
And then once we're at the cove we're in the fucking water. We might get out to eat a little bit, because we take a grill out there and cook and shit and spend the fucking day, dude. I mean, we go out and spend the day.
You ever been on a lake in Florida at night?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that creepy?
No.
All the fucking eyeballs?
Well, I wasn't swimming in the lakes in Florida.
I know.
We don't got alligators up here, motherfucker. I mean, you're not going to get bit by nothing. S&S was saying that the snakes here swim like fish. They do, man, but snakes aren't out to attack you, dude. They're not aggressive like that. You know what I mean? And plus, when you're out, they don't fuck with you like that. They just don't. I don't know. I guess it's just because I don't have fear in me about anything on this earth, because I'm not, I'm not basically.
All right, you ain't got no pet snake, do you?
No.
How about a pet turtle? Do you got a pet turtle?
No.
How about a horse? Do you got a horse?
No. I got 2 dogs, and that's it. Angus and Tippy.
And you know what? If you're walking around with a couple of dogs, you always feel a little safer too, because they're always spotting stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to get struck first. You're going to see it go down.
They're not like that. Snakes aren't like that, dude. The only time you're going to get bit by a snake around here is if you step on the motherfucker.
I know. I'm just kidding. Snakes don't really scare me. I'll tell you what did scare me. I was walking through the woods with my friend one day, and we were walking his dog. And his dog's like his big ass dog. I don't know what kind of dog, just a big ass dog. And we walked right up on, didn't even know it was there. It just blended in with everything. A full grown deer with antlers and everything. Laid on the fucking ground. And like the dog was smelling at him. The dog saw him. We didn't even see it, man. We were just talking about whatever. Fucking all of a sudden this thing fucking jumps the fuck up in the damn butt. His front end wasn't working. Everything from the middle of his back forward was fucking dead. Everything from the middle of his back was dead, was working like, and he was scooting around on the ground on his fucking head and his legs, front legs dragging behind. Dude, it's the craziest shit you ever seen in your life, man. Scared the fuck out of me. I didn't even know what the fuck it was for a second because it was already starting to get a little dark. Oh my God, I never fucking scared the piss out of me.
Yeah.
I don't know what he didn't have no damage. He didn't have no damage at all. We called the animal control people and they came out and I guess they shot him or whatever. But fucking saddest thing I ever seen in my life was that, and it was the scariest thing I ever seen just because of the way he popped up. Hell, he could have killed me with his fucking antlers the way he popped up. If I'd have been like 3 feet closer to him, he might have stabbed me in the chin or drove it through my eye socket or something.
Somebody might have got a shot on him and just paralyzed his front end, put one through his back or something and paralyzed his front end or something.
We didn't see no blood on him or nothing.
Yeah.
And he wasn't real close to the road. If he would have gotten messed up, it would have been. I don't think he would have gotten as far. Well, I don't know. Maybe he would have.
Some of them just get bumped, man. I mean, all it takes is just the smack of the car or whatever to fuck them up. It doesn't necessarily have to rip them open. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of dead deer laying on the side of the road, and there wasn't an ounce of blood on them. They just bounced off the car and fucked them up internally. So, not just because you didn't see blood doesn't necessarily mean you didn't get hit.
Well, he was as big as a damn horse.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. They get big, especially down around where you're at.
Oh, he's not. I saw one really big one time. I was working at a house, and people were gone. And I didn't want to walk out front and sit in my truck and smoke, so I walked out on their back screened-in porch. And it was raining real hard, and it was a brand-new neighborhood where they'd taken over a bunch of old woods, and this damn buck, dude, he was, like the Mutual of Omaha one, the big-ass one that's got, looks like... He came stepping through the trees at the backyard, come walking right up to the back porch. I guess the lady had been throwing food out there to him or something.
Yeah, that's an elk. Yeah, we got those around here too, dude.
Bro, thing came right up, and he was,
moose.
Yeah, dude, he was huge, but he couldn't see me through the screen. The screen was black screen. It was like darker inside than it was outside.
He could smell you.
No, he didn't even smell me. The wind was blowing just right. That's the thing or maybe the lady had been